In Minneapolis, the word daycare is supposed to mean safety, juice boxes, nap mats, a place where parents can work and kids can grow. Instead, it became a money chute. What Nick Shirley helped expose wasn't a clerical error or a few bad actors cutting corners. It was a system that hemorrhaged tens, possibly hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars through shell daycares, phantom children, and paperwork that no one seemed eager to question. Here's the uncomfortable part. This wasn't hidden very well. Addresses that housed dozens of licensed daycares, enrollment numbers that defied basic math and fire codes, food reimbursements for children who didn't exist, served by kitchens that weren't there, and yet the money kept flowing. This was pandemic-era spending on autopilot. Federal dollars rushed out in the name of compassion, filtered through state agencies that were either asleep at the wheel or afraid to touch the brakes. Oversight was labeled suspicion. Questions were labeled bias. And anyone who raised a hand too loudly was told the real emergency was speed, not accuracy. Nick Shirley didn't invent the scandal. Prosecutors, auditors, and whistleblowers have been circling it for years. What he did was pull the thread in public, connect the dots, follow the money, and say the quiet part out loud. This wasn't about helping kids. Kids were the cover story. And when children become a talking point instead of a responsibility, fraud doesn't just happen. It's invited. Because if a system designed to feed and protect children could be hijacked this easily, the question isn't how this happened. The question is how often it's still happening right now under different names in different cities with the same moral shield. That's the story, and it deserves daylight.
Welcome to the Retrospect podcast, a show where people come together from different walks of life and discuss a topic from their generation's perspective. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Jason.
Hello, everyone.
And Stoney.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
Well,
anybody need to lose any weight after the holidays?
I think everybody will feel that way.
Everybody right now. No, I've been going in the gym, and there's always new people that show up, and everybody's making their New Year's resolutions to get in there and reduce some poundage and get a little stronger. Or
Well, I was doing some research quickly. I know we have a big show ahead of us, but I read somewhere that farting burns 67 calories.
Gee.
So if you were to fart 52 times a day, you would burn a pound of fat a day just by farting.
Wow.
So I just ordered $30 worth of Taco Bell. My fitness journey begins today.
I guess how would the Taco Bell counteract that? I mean, I guess it
Good
depends.
old Taco Bell. You can just somehow Taco Bell and flatulence seems to always be connected. I wonder if there's something to that. So I haven't eaten a Taco Bell in
what's
so
the
many
joke
years.
that I've said before? You know, Japan has the most space-aged,
toilets.
the greatest toilets on the planet, and they have no Taco Bell or Mexican food. That's like having a brand new Ferrari and driving it 10 miles an hour.
Yeah, I know. Well, at least they're probably clean and probably look good.
I don't know. Maybe.
You know.
But yeah, today we had, or again, I think we had mentioned this topic potentially last week, or I mean, obviously it's been a big thing. There's been a couple of big stories that's been taking place. Everyone stay tuned for next week. I guess you could probably guess what we're going to talk about. Wink, wink, Venezuela.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not only that. I mean, there's a lot of movement in the world. There's a lot of things happening. I mean, in the short time, Trump has been in office. I mean, it's unbelievable how just alliances are shifting and how world politics is changing. I mean, I think we're starting to see something new is going to emerge.
Well, not only that, but McDonald's has the greatest employment advertisement out there on the planet now.
What is that?
Did you know a former McDonald's employee just liberated Venezuela?
What?
And how did he do that?
It was President Donald Trump. Remember when he did the media thing where he went to McDonald's and worked in the drive-thru for a couple of hours?
Yeah.
So McDonald's got some free employment advertisements right there.
Hilarious. But yeah,
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
But today specifically, we're talking about all the stuff that's been happening in Minnesota, as you've heard from the intro of this.
Well, I have a question
episode.
about the Minnesota thing. Why does a community with such a high unemployment rate, high stay-at-home mother rate, need so many daycare centers?
Yeah. Suspicious.
I mean, they found one building with 22 unpopulated daycare centers.
I saw that.
Crazy.
One building.
Yeah.
4 floors, I think it was. And,
Nick, I'm telling you, that video, that 43-minute video that this YouTuber, that's all he is.
Well, he's an independent journalist.
Right.
And this is what I've been saying for years and years. Where are the real journalists? Now that they've been bought out by the libtard, people with money. Okay, because at one time, it was against the law to own more than 2 of the 3 medias. You could have a TV station and a radio station. You couldn't have a newspaper. You could own 2 of the 3. Now that everybody owns this, all of them just own together.
Yeah.
Who broke Watergate?
It was. I believe it was a journalist.
2 journalists.
2 journalists, yeah.
Who broke the Iran-Contra affair, where the CIA was selling cocaine to the black community in California
to make money to fight fight Nicaragua,
right,
the Sandinistas or whatever. There was
a journalist who committed suicide with 2 taps to the back of his head. Where are those journalists today? You used to be able to watch the real news where they were secretly recording the mafia or secretly doing this. Where are those journalists? So this guy, he is being demonized.
Yeah.
And this is starting to tick me off because somebody actually went out and did something. Oh, he's not a real journalist. Well, neither are you. Neither are you.
It's amazing now how the dynamics have shifted when it comes to journalism. And here you got this 23-year-old YouTuber and
making a difference.
And now the big networks are now running after the story after he breaks it. And it's because these, I hate to say it, these big networks have been bought. They owe their allegiances to a certain political ideology, and if it goes against that, they just either don't cover it or they'll find some means of trying to discredit anything else.
But they live in fear. Okay, they live in fear of getting their money pulled or being fired or whatever. And then on top of that, you have some jackass like Minnesota's Attorney General Keith Ellison, who says if you are a journalist and you go after and start investigating the Somalian fraud, you will be charged and put in prison.
It's unbelievable. That's what I'm saying. How did you
ever... Wait a minute.
What world have we woken up into that this would be coming from a sitting state attorney general? I mean, I would have never in my wildest dreams growing up ever hear anything remotely like that coming from somebody. What has happened is we have become so now entrenched in our camps that you can't even... Fraud should be something that should be universally condemned. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, an independent, a libertarian, whatever.
Right.
Fraud is the misuse of the tax dollars for
a personal gain.
For personal gain. And how anybody could be against that, I do not understand. But that is where we're at now. This kid, all he did was simply walk. I mean, I watched that video. I remember when it came out, I was sitting there. I've listened to now. He's gone on to several big name podcasts that I've listened to, and he talked about he's now talked about all these attacks that have come toward him. His kids gotten death threats. His family's gotten death threats. I mean, it's just like, what? This is a clown world.
Yep.
But that's what I'm saying. What it is this scheme. And I hate to say it. And everybody wondered, when Kamala Harris was going to pick, if you remember
Tim Walz.
Tim
Yep.
Walz, he came out of kind of nowhere. Remember the big talk
It was to cover this up.
Right. It was Josh Shapiro. That's where everybody wanted her to pull. But Josh Shapiro said, no, I don't want anything to do with Kamala Harris. But so
Smartest move he ever made.
Tim Walz. This guy comes out of nowhere, and guess what? And surprisingly, all this money flows
But where is it
into
Elar Omar from?
Minnesota.
Oh, really?
It's amazing.
And magically, the day she takes office, she's $65,000 in debt with no home, no car, and magically today she's got a multi-million-dollar home.
I think she's worth about $30 million
and
now.
$30 to $40 million.
It's amazing how that works. It's amazing how that works. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I also don't think that, like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of like the major media companies just aren't looking for things like this, looking for stories and like actually being active about like being like questioning and curious about that sort of stuff, but they're bandwagoning. I think that's what many people online do. I think many major media companies do as well. Is the second like a big story gets big, they're just like, oh, we have to talk about it because we got to get the revenue money from it.
That's
we want eyes on we want eyes on our stuff.
Is now it's opened up what's happening in Ohio.
Oh yeah,
they're finding the same thing.
Really,
fun fact: Somalia's ambassador to the UN is a daycare administrator in Ohio. Yes.
Oh,
you can't make this shit up.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's what's funny to me. Did y'all see, and I wish I could find it. I thought I had saved it, but I don't. I can't. Oh, wait. Yes, here it is. Submitted. Minneapolis Craigslist post. In search of child actors for daycare site where funding was cruelly whipped away without cause. To help hurry the state vetting process, we are looking to hire 20 child actors for 3 days while the state is present on site. $1,500 a day. That's a copy I'm showing Ian and Jason.
Supposedly, I saw that. Supposedly, the media experts are saying that was a joke I'm kind of with you. I find it strange that they would post that on Craigslist.
Because nobody uses Craigslist anymore.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay, but here's what you have to understand. Okay,
no one would make a joke. No one would post a joke on Craigslist like that.
We shipped during the Biden crime family administration. We shipped in over 80,000 Somalians to America, to plane loads of people. And I don't know if you know very much about Somalia, but there is not one person that is not touched by incest in Somalia.
Yeah.
Their average IQ is, I think, 67 or 68.
Yeah.
Okay, in America, to be declared handicapped, you have to have an IQ of 70 or less. And then you see this stuff go on. Okay, number one, these Somalians aren't smart enough to figure this out on their own. So Mr. Tim Walz and all these other people who are now being caught backdating information. Have y'all seen this backdating stuff?
No, I haven't.
They're coming out, all of these forms, and I know somebody that works in a state arena that's supposed to be checking. If you receive government money, you're supposed to be audited yearly.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? They want to find out everything. And even some of it's done on paper and some of it's done in visits. So this has been going on since COVID, 2019?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And none of this has been found out? Okay, this is crazy to me.
Something smells fishy.
Yeah. Yeah, because all of these people, I saw this great meme on the internet, and it just made me laugh so hard that, what is it? The highest paid professions in the U.S. right now. An airline pilot makes $200,000 or more. A psychiatrist makes $250,000 or more. A corporate CEO makes $300,000 or more. A surgeon can make $400,000 or more. But a Somalian daycare owner makes $1.2 million a year. For not having to watch any kids.
It's funny that you all saw that Tim Walz has now withdrawn his name,
Yes.
and he's not running again.
Oh, this was
Really?
the
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Think
Yes.
about this. This is the guy who was going to be one heartbeat away from being president.
That's
Matter of fact,
crazy.
Nick Shirley on X posted a deal. He goes, "I ended Tim Walz."
That's great.
It's a 23-year-old kid. I just ended. This guy was one
he's
of
also
the
not
key
wrong.
players. The
Yeah.
key players.
And what I don't like, and I Donald Trump is doing some things to help America, putting America first. Hey, Russia puts Russia first.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Mexico puts Mexicans first. China puts China first. Everybody can put their country first except for Americans. But why all of the sudden does it so hard to just want to put America first?
Yeah.
But I don't like the name calling.
Mm.
Okay? He called Tim Walz a retard.
Mm.
And the reason Tim Walz has not sued him for it is because it's true. Okay, it has to be false for it to be called defamation of character. But then all of a sudden, once he calls him that, and Tim Walz gets his panties in a wad, because he's also the guy who said boys need tampons, all of the Down syndrome people and all the other people who that word was used against, now they're mad that they're calling Tim Walz a retard because it says it makes us look bad.
Wow.
I hate to say
I'm
it.
like, wait a minute. They're actively going, stop calling him that.
Yeah.
He's worse than that. He's making us look bad. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm looking at here a list of daycare centers. They say here's a list of child care centers receiving CCAP funds, referencing the video in fiscal year 25. And Super Kids Daycare Center received $471,787. I see the Future Leaders Early Learning Center. I think that was one of those was like the one that was really brought in the video where the
early Leering Center.
the spelling was wrong.
Yes.
They received $3.68 million. Quality Learning Centers received $1.9 million. Teo Daycare $1.09 million.
Dang.
Minnesota Child Care Center $2.67 million.
Like, I wonder. Like,
It's incredible.
I wonder if there's actual. Like, I know that. I mean, I would imagine that somewhere in Minnesota and in Minneapolis there are actual real like childcare daycare centers, and I wonder like how much better the actual daycares would be if they even got like a fraction of all this money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how much better would it be? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, now what was so eye opening what Nick Shirley did was going in there and I know some of the things like, well, you would normally not open the door if you just see some guy going to a child care, but there's no receptionist. There's no one.
They wouldn't even open the doors for him. They would crack the door.
Give him a brochure.
Yeah.
Anything.
Can I have an application for my kid? No, slam.
Yeah. Or like an office to visit or something.
Well,
or anything,
the thing about the Somali community, that's one thing about them. They do not talk to anybody outside their own community. It's kind of the, and that's the problem with trying to find out about what's going on with these people. But and then I saw some news regarding that some of this money now linked to this went overseas to some terrorist groups.
Yes.
So it's like, I hate to say it, but I mean, it's our own money that's being used in this way to basically hurt ourselves. It's that's what I do not understand, how Democrats that are aligned to this, how do you sleep with yourself?
Yeah.
How do you sleep with yourself? What happened to
They
your
sleep
own...
with 30, 40, 50, $200 million in the bank. That's how they sleep with themselves.
Yikes.
While and the video of Ilar Omar or AOC, I'm sorry, AOC said this one where we didn't hurt the American public enough. We need to hurt them more to bend their will to our side.
No.
When that government shutdown happened, she's like, "Oh, we didn't hurt them enough."
Yikes.
There's a video of that. Look that up for yourself one day, because I was like, "Wow."
Yeah.
She just said the thing that wasn't supposed to be said out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the DCYF, and I'm trying to figure out what that acronym stands for. But right now, they said has ongoing investigations at 4 of the centers on the list. In total, the agency has 55 open investigations involving providers that are getting funds through the CCAP.
It says
what about the one that the FBI was watching for almost a month and never saw a kid go in it before this kid did this?
Well, if you watch that video, it was not only Nick Shirley. He was with an older gentleman that had been investigating this for a long time, and he'd watched these daycare centers and not one time in months to see a single child show up to him.
But the FBI was there.
Yeah.
Where is their work?
Before we get,
I'm telling you.
What you got? Ian's got something.
The DCYF stands for the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, which is a state-level agency focused on child welfare, including child protective services. So.
Yeah, I'm reading some of these articles of various news sources, but I'm just telling you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm telling you, wonder, this is why, kind of deviating just off this topic briefly, but this is why Elon Musk and Doge ran into the problems because he started getting close to where some of this money
it's being
goes.
To the Democrats.
Yes. And look, even some Republicans. I hate to say it, but even some Republicans are probably benefiting from some of this. And I'm telling you, they all need to go. This is where people are fed up with right now. They're tired of just excuses, people defending fraud, defending dictators, defending all this stuff. It's like, I'm telling you, it's a clown world we live in now. Yeah. And it's all because I hate Trump. And if it's somehow Trump supports it, I've got to hate it no matter what it might be. I've got to hate it. That's a default position in the brain.
What's the word when you cliffhanger to next week? Is that it? I'm going to cliffhanger to next week. Yeah. The Obama administration, the Biden crime family administration said, we need to take out Maduro in Venezuela. And then all of a sudden, Trump does it. And now how many people are protesting in America to free the dictator? Right. The mean, awful man Trump didn't do that. And somebody asked Trump, how could you be so mean to him to steal him like that? He says, what? I was nice. I even gave him a +1. I let him take his wife. I mean, people are just, they got no appreciation.
I know.
And now the guy's singing like a bird, but we'll leave that for next week.
Right.
But
all this and more.
I got a 3-page list of somebody in Venezuela that is listing all of the politicians that have received money.
Ooh,
I can't wait. I'll be waiting to see when that hits. Really is pushed out on the national.
It's not gonna news, because that's all your Democrats and
exactly. That's what I'm saying. There really is no journalism now. That's why when Elon Musk, at the conclusion of when President Trump got elected, he's basically pointing to all the YouTubers. You are the media now.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't trust what these people say anymore.
YouTubers and podcasts are now the journalists.
Because as long as you owe somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to dictate what you say, there really is, you're not really being able to
tell you what you can and can't say, yeah.
Yeah, they say right now, they were in Congress. They had hearings regarding all this fraud. Yeah. I saw the House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, Republican Kentucky, stated in his opening remarks, federal prosecutors estimate that these criminals have stolen at least $9 billion.
I was going to say it's up to over $9 billion now.
That's insane.
Yeah, they said the breadth and depth of this fraud is breathtaking, and I fear it's just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, because
think about this now. California's
next.
They're talking 20 to 40 billion.
Yeah, I think Minnesota's going to be small potatoes.
Now you got Ohio coming into it. Now you got some of the other. What about New York?
Oh, I don't.
It's coming.
And then San Francisco. San Francisco's $2 billion in debt. They just passed a law that says they want to give $5 million in reparations. They passed a law. This is a state that never had slaves, and then they're $2 billion in debt. Where are they going to get the money from?
Well, they say to date, the U.S. Department of Justice has charged 98 defendants in Minnesota fraud-related cases, 85 of whom are of Somali descent.
Wow.
64 have already been convicted.
Really?
Yep. The DOJ has also issued over 1,750 subpoenas, executed over 130 search warrants, and conducted over 1,000 witness interviews.
So there's actually some action.
Oh, it's been going on.
Oh, okay.
I think what's happened was, I think that's what I'm saying. I think Nick actually made it public.
Yeah.
So it's now the spotlight has been put on this thing.
Yes.
And now people are like, wow. Because my understanding was when he posted that video, it was reposted and seen by
everybody.
It was, I think it's the single biggest video ever viewed to date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be because Elon Musk was retweeting it. So, yeah, and the kid is I give the kid credit. He goes, I don't know what they can do to me because I haven't done anything.
Yeah,
I'm not. You know, I've lived a good life. I'm not married. I've never had sex. I mean, unless they want to go and pull a high school prank. That's about all they can do to me other than threaten people around me.
Right.
In which they have. It's just sad. I mean,
one thing that I'm finding really interesting, in the household welfare participation is crazy. Roughly 54% of Somali-headed households in Minnesota receive SNAP food assistance benefits.
Really?
73% of Somali households have at least one member on Medicaid. That's compared to 18% for Native households. And the other one, the SNAP is roughly 7% for non-Somalians. Nearly 90% of Somali households with children receive some form of welfare benefits, SNAP, Medicaid, cash assistance, etc. So 80% plus of Somali households consume some form of welfare.
Yeah.
Now, these may not be necessarily fraud, but come on. When you got that many people getting welfare, something's up.
I'm looking at some of the transcripts from the hearing they had in Congress regarding this. They said the cover letter of the audit report states, quote, however, during the course of our audit, we identified a number of documents that Behavioral Health Administration either backdated, you mentioned that, Stoney, or created after our audit happened.
Yep.
It sounds like Governor Tim Walz's DHS may have fabricated evidence by creating
That's what I was talking about. I was going to get into that in a little bit, but run with it, baby.
It says documents after the fact to mislead the auditors. The new report noted that one grantee who received nearly $680,000 from this agency for 1 month's work could not provide any documentation or proof that any work was actually completed.
What?
The report even notes that the grant manager who approved this money left the agency within days of approving the grant to take a job with the very same grantee they had granted money for.
No, that's a conflict of interest.
Have you ever seen anything like this in your time as a member of the Minnesota Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight Policy Committee? It's unbelievable and I'm telling you, this is just a tip. This is going on in a lot of communities.
Yeah. I think I found Nick Shirley's YouTube channel, and I think that this video, the investigation of Minnesota's billion-dollar fraud scandal, is his third most viewed video.
Okay.
He has two other videos that have much more.
Okay.
And it deals with some interesting
I think I heard him
situations.
say that on one of his interviews on one of these podcasts.
3.4 million views, though. That's insane. That's a lot of people getting their eyes on this.
Yeah.
Talk about public.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's really interesting that he gave a large sum of money to a Somali investigations company to investigate the fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Walz did.
That's unbelievable.
He wanted an independent investigation.
Unbelievable.
Done. Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
What?
That's insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Look, this, all this is. I'm telling. This is how the Democrats are funding all these NGOs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How all this works. All these protests that all of a sudden pop up.
With the bricks and pallets
Yes.
of bricks that
Oh,
magically
Telling
show
you,
up.
where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
I hate to say it, they're using our own tax dollars
Yeah,
to
that's
do
exactly
this.
what they're doing. Soros was given $250 million out of USAID.
Like he needs it.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's how he funded all of this stuff.
That's crazy.
It's
And I wonder, like you were mentioning the fact that there's stuff over in, you said it was Ohio?
Yeah, they're starting to uncover some of the same things in Ohio.
What is the stuff that was happening over, you were saying Los Angeles has a bunch of stuff that was like a lot of fraud stuff. Was it because of the same sort of thing, or is it just other?
It's just fraud.
Okay.
Once COVID happened,
Yeah.
they were able to easily disperse this money into the welfare system
Right.
without a lot of checks and balances or oversight.
I see.
And so now that it's being investigated for kind of reals, like
Right.
it's coming.
Yeah.
Well,
interesting.
I mean, there is going to be. I was listening to, as I was listening to Nick Shirley going on some of these shows.
Yeah.
Will be another one he's preparing right now. There'll be another
I saw
video
that. Yeah.
regarding he's going after now the transportation companies
Really?
tied to all this and how much money they have built the government for in cars and trucks that just literally sat in a parking lot and did nothing for long periods of time.
Well, you have to think about it. Okay, there was one of these had 1,200 kids
Yeah.
that they were supposedly feeding a day. Okay, they were still buying the food.
Oh, yeah.
You got to truck the food in. Then where'd the food go?
Right.
They found out that they were only feeding the workers,
Mm-hmm.
the 1 or 2, 3, 4 people there. And then where's the food go?
Right.
You still had to have that trucked and delivered and then shipped out somewhere else. So not only are these people making the money on welfare,
Yeah.
but they're scattering all the food that they just brought in to feed the kids, supposedly.
Right.
Where does all that go? And that's what he's talking about, because you still bought it.
Oh, yeah. You still have it.
Because that's how
Where's it going?
you're dispersing the funds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm looking here, Representative Donalds. Many people probably know about him. I believe he's out of Florida, if I'm not mistaken. Byron Donalds, I believe is his first name. And once again, I'm reading. This is very interesting. I'm reading this transcript of the hearing. He says, "I want to talk about the use of funds. You've talked about some of these funds being used to buy property in Kenya, property in Turkey.
What?
Do I have that correct?" State Representative Robbins, yes. Representative Donalds, Somalia. State Representative Robbins, yes. And then Donalds goes again, "I think it's important for the committee to understand that these remittances, in part, are used in what's called the hawala," if I'm pronouncing that right. It's Hawala. I want to make sure the terminology is right. The hawala network. Ms. Robbins, can you speak to what the hawala network is? State Representative Robbins, yes. So it's an informal network where someone goes to a place in Minneapolis, which is like a money exchange or a money sending site. And they say, I want to send X amount of dollars. And then there's a receiving site in Somalia. And they put take the cash out so money doesn't cross the border.
What?
It's an order for money here that gets transmitted to Somalia. Representative Donalds, because I'm out of time, I want to expound in Somalia and other parts in the Middle East. In the Middle East region writ large, a hawala network is a bunch of money exchangers, hand to hand, not bank account to bank account.
Of course.
And State Representative Robbins, exactly. Representative Donalds, And what is clear in Somalia and other parts is that Al-Shabaab, the largest Al-Qaeda affiliate in Somalia, they have their hands all through this network. So taxpayer money, United States dollars that are being remitted into Somalia in port have been utilized or have fallen in the hands of Al-Shabaab. Do you think that's a correct assessment? State Representative Robbins, yes, we have plenty evidence of that.
What?
I mean,
yeah. It doesn't get much more condemning than that.
It's what I'm talking about, guys. We I hate to say it, we're our own worst enemy.
Dang.
Yeah.
We are. We just choose because our politics here, we have lost the common bonds. I'm telling you, we've kind of mentioned this. Is why is the United States so fracturing?
Yeah.
At one time in history, this would have never been tolerated.
No.
Mm-hmm.
It would have never been tolerated. It's one thing if your own citizens are doing that within its own communities. It's another thing that now I'm tacitly approving the use of these dollars to go now to these terrorist networks overseas. I mean, it's just crazy that we've gotten to this point that they're okay with this. And they're actually fighting this. I mean, I don't this is a this is a big deal, man. I mean, it just is. I mean, and as I said, many people say this is going to be small potatoes compared to what they uncover in California. I mean, I was reading somewhere there was $25 billion designated for homeless people.
Really?
Yes, $25 billion over. It's unaccounted for. They don't know where it's at.
25 billion?
25
That's
billion.
the California thing.
California.
Yeah, that's the California thing.
Really?
Yes. $25 billion. I saw that. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
How do you just miss?
Oh, no, it's
Well,
not.
I know.
It's
I'm
not
playing,
missing.
I'm playing. They know where it's at, but
they know exactly because they use it for other things.
Well, of course.
All that are fronts. They tug on the heartstrings.
Of course.
We got to help these people. We got to do this. And you know what? You do need to help people. No one's against that.
Yes.
But this level of magnitude, when it comes to government, there's going to be inefficiency and waste.
Yes.
It's just kind of baked into the DNA of just how government operates.
Yeah.
But there comes to a point where the scales just get like, okay, this goes beyond just general inefficiency and waste.
Yeah.
Money is being siphoned off the top.
Of course.
And it's going to whether it's going to fund Antifa, fund terrorist groups, support all this BS that's going on around.
Look at what happened to the Black Lives Matter person. Under multiple homes, multiple countries.
Had nothing to do with BLM.
Nothing.
Mm-mm.
Millions and millions of dollars gone. Multiple luxury cars.
I know this is probably a controversial belief, but I've done the same. I'm not saying that government should do this, but a lot of times whenever like you had said, it tugs on the heartstrings, and you should help people in need, and that is something I feel like, especially as a Christian person, that I'm called to do. But there's a level of wisdom, I think, for me that I feel like where I don't just give people cash. I don't just give people money, but I will give you what you're asking for.
Right.
And more often than not, I've been turned down. Someone's like, "Hey, I just need something to drink. I just want something to eat or whatever." And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, come inside and you order what you want and I'll pay for it." And they're like, "Oh, no. I want some money." And I'm like, "No, buddy, I'm not. First of all, I don't really carry a lot of cash on me. If I do, it's usually a little amount, and I'm sorry, but that's just not what I'm going to do. I will gladly give you something to drink. I'll gladly buy you food for you and whoever, whatever. I'll do that. But I'm not just going to give you cash because I know you're probably going to buy something else with it, and I'm not going to fund that."
Yeah,
and it's just. I had a friend. This is this is probably a bit of a tangent, but I think it furthers what I'm saying before. Is I had a friend who was saying that, this person was wanting a ride, was wanting to, go somewhere. I was like, I just need a couple extra dollars for like a taxi or for like an Uber or something. And he was like, I'll call up the Uber right now and I'll pay for him. And he was like, oh, no, don't do none of that. And he was like, no, like that's what you want. You need a ride. I have the app right here. I'll call it up, pay your way to wherever you got to go. And he's like, oh, no, you don't. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, then you don't need a ride then. you want my money and you want it for something else. But anyways, it just feels like that kind of same thing where it's like, it's all to just tug on your heartstrings. But
that's why these things crop up during the holidays.
Oh, 100%.
They said, well, last week the Trump administration paused the child care and development fund payments. It's about $10 billion.
Wow.
The primary federal source for child care assistance to all states, according to Andrew Nixon, a spokesperson for HHS. He said, while the connection between the new 5-state freeze and earlier actions remains unclear, an HHS official confirmed on Tuesday night that the action builds on existing Minnesota funding halt.
That's not the only funds that he stopped. He stopped the yearly check to the UN. Now, if the UN wants money, it's case by case. You have to bring what you want, and then we'll approve it case by case.
It basically goes back to what we all saw with USAID. Mm-hmm. And the absolute where this money supposedly was going that are just probably fronts.
Yeah.
They're not going for that. They're going, that's just a name they give because they have to designate something and make it go, that way the money flows. But it's being pocketed and used for other purposes. That's just how this game is played. He goes, President Donald Trump said in a social media post on Thursday that the fraud investigation of California has begun.
Okay.
And he says, without really providing any specifics, he says it's more corrupt. He said, basically talking about Newsom in California. He said it's more corrupt than Minnesota.
And President Trump said that?
Yeah, and then Newsom responded to Trump in a social media post on Thursday, calling the president a deranged, habitual liar whose relationship with reality ended years ago. So it's tit for tat, back and forth, and
if I'm not mistaken, I think that's your boss, so you better be careful.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul, a Democrat, called the funding cuts an impending threat to her state and accused the Trump administration of carrying out a frontal assault on children. I want to pulling on the heartstrings,
Oh man.
Yeah, it says, why is there such a frontal assault on children in this nation from this administration? Hochul said during news conference in New York City Tuesday, now they don't give a damn about child care for kids.
Are we talking about imaginary children or real children?
Yeah, well.
Are there children in the room with us?
It said New York has not received formal notification that funding has been withheld from the state. If it comes, Hochul pledged to fight it in court.
I want to see you try. Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to kind of sort this stuff out to make sure, hey, we got to make sure this money is being used where it's supposed to be being used.
As a taxpayer in the Constitution, we have a right to know how every dollar is spent.
And trust me, they'll get some federal judge that'll probably go along with them. There's no doubt in my mind. There's going to be some federal judge that's either on the take or
just as corrupt,
sympathetic to that side of the political spectrum.
Right.
That's going to basically say, no, they can't do that because that's an action of Congress. I don't know I think there is a limited time that the executive can pause funding. I don't know for how long because, Congress is the appropriator of money.
Okay.
So I think that how the Constitution works with, I think temporarily the executive can do that for a short time, but it can't do it indefinitely. It would take an act of Congress to basically suspend permanently money. I don't think the president can, regardless of whether it's a Democrat or Republican. I think it would, but yeah.
I was trying to look it up and see I think it says an executive of this may be from an estate generally has about 6 to 12 months to distribute funds or something like that. So maybe there's I think I typed in the wrong thing. But anyways, I was curious about how that would.
Well, that gives them 6 to 12 months to
Potentially.
prove where you're using the money.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, this is I'm interested to see what this kind of spurs onto, what it transforms into from other states and other situations.
Yeah, a federal prosecutor alleged earlier in December that half or more of the roughly $18 billion in federal funds that supported 14 programs in Minnesota since 2018 may have been stolen. Most of the defendants are Somali Americans, they said.
Are any of those Somalis actually like U.S. citizens? Or are they illegal?
I don't know. I know they sent ICE in there, and unfortunately, we all now know about what's happened with the shooting that occurred. This is all, this is all part now.
So was the shooting a correlated?
Well,
with the stuff
I think they've sent ICE into the Somali community to start deporting the ones that are illegal, which then now has led to this incident that occurred because. As well as I do, people that live 10 states away have got to feel like they've got to show up and, fight the man or whatever the case may be. And unfortunately, a tragedy happened where, a woman got killed.
Yeah.
Trying to, it appears strike a nice officer with their car. So,
yeah.
I mean,
What appears? See, I like that word, appears. Mm-hmm. She got shot in the front windshield.
Right.
Not the side windshield, which means she got shot trying to hit him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think...
Okay, and they want to spin it, and this poor mother, and it's a they, them, and why would we do that? No, why would you hit somebody with your car? Okay, if they want to say, hey, she's a mother, well, why wasn't she home taking care of her kids? She made a decision. She tried to hit somebody with her vehicle and paid the ultimate price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They've shown the video. I mean, they've showed it
multiple
all
angles.
And
the only spin to looking at that is what the libtard media is trying to spin.
Oh, no.
Because if you look at every angle, and there's multiple angles that you can pull off of the internet and look at it, she tried to hit him with the car.
Yeah.
Any way you look at it.
Right.
She made a decision.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, Waltz is saying he's always, he's been clamping down on fraudsters, and it's like, I think as part of the video, which I find interesting, the one of these daycares actually had a direct line to Tim Waltz. Now, on the surface, you may not think much about that, but think about that. What daycare center you were that when their number is called, it actually rings on the desk of the governor of that state. Okay, that's right.
See, he's not clamping down on fraud. He's clamping down on a cut to allow them to continue to operate is what he's doing. That's what he's clamping down on.
And you wonder...
He's shaking these people down is what he's doing.
Well,
he got his ass caught.
It's part of the deal, and part of the reason why he's resigning is because to the powers that be who are really backing this, he's no longer useful.
Right.
So you need to
remember, this guy was a heartbeat away from being the president.
And people voted for that.
And if something, God forbid, would have happened to Kamala Harris, that would have been our next president had they got into office. You want to talk about a cover-up then, and I believe firmly that's the whole reason that she picked him.
Oh, yeah, because
they knew it was going to come out.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. And I think at the time when he was selected, there was a huge influx of cash to the campaign. Matter of fact, I think they said it was the single largest
I remember that
fundraising event that occurred at the time. And that's why I remember when that happened. I remember the time the talk was, Democrats are loaded with cash. And now we all know that the Democrats spent about $1.5 billion on that campaign, which basically what a waste. What an absolute waste. $1.5 billion to run for office.
That is insane.
You know,
Yeah, but they're hiding how many billions of dollars in kickbacks.
yeah, well, that's
chump change to these people.
It's all the NGOs. It's all this stuff that's going out. I'm telling you, this is where the story is. It's these NGOs.
Mm-hmm.
These organizations have been set up as shell games, and then the money is sent to them, and then it comes back to these campaigns.
Yep.
And it's all mostly on the Democratic side. I'm not excluding Republicans in this because I'm sure there's a few that might be tied into this too. So I want to be fair in that. That's not all, but well over, I would venture to say 80% are Democrat candidates. So there's definitely some issues there. So I don't know. I mean, this is sad. I mean, it really is. But you know what? None of this really surprises me anymore. I've always wondered, where are they getting their money from, and this is how they're doing it.
Yep.
This is just one thing. You don't know, there might be other schemes out there,
Right.
and how they've kind of massaged the system to a degree where these monies are coming back. What's so disturbing is they're okay with this money going to terrorist organizations and seem to be complicit in it. Mm-hmm. To me, now that rises to the level of treason, of outright criminal charges against them, if it can be proven and connected.
Right.
So it'll be very curious what this eventually uncovers. But yeah. Mad props to this 23-year-old kid who basically is, it's so funny that how now the national media has made him out to be. Immediately they made him a right-wing,
of course,
white national. I cannot believe Tim Walz sitting up there basically called him a white supremacist, and I'm sitting there going, really?
Everyone has to have a title and like.
Let's put a label on him.
That's what I said earlier about calling people names.
Yes,
this has got to stop. It's just become so easy just to name just racist, Christian nationalist, retard. I mean, so many ugly things because we're trying to bend things and perceptions, and it's got to stop.
Yeah. I was trying to look up to see what the verdict is on the ICE agent that had
well,
shot
believe
that
it or
woman.
not, I saw they've released this ICE agent's name.
Really?
Yes.
That's unfortunate.
Yes. So what do you think? What do you think's going to happen to him now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that if I read a little bit here, now I don't know if any of this is factual or not, but it says that the local officials rejected the Trump administration's explanation that it was self-defense. I don't know if I don't think that's not a verdict on anything like that, but it says that the officer fired defensive shots after a quote violent rioter attempted to run over the officers. A spokeswoman of the Department of Homeland Security said in a statement, adding that the officer had feared for his life. I'm not sure how many shots were fired, but I definitely see only one bullet hole in the window, which I think is technically the fatal blow. But
Right.
I was looking that up, curious about that.
It's easy to sit back after the fact when it's you and it's your life.
Yes.
It just amazes me, these people who sit around and talk about, I said, you would have done the same thing.
Yes.
Matter of fact, they've done studies on people that go in and criticize the police and use of force and stuff like that. And they did some studies, and they got people who were very critical of law enforcement, generally people on the left side.
They
of the
took journalists and put them in those situations.
Them in there, and guess what? They pulled the gun faster than they. That's what I'm saying. So
justice for thee, but
and
not for me.
That's not even a real stressful situation.
Right.
I know.
Exactly. That's what it just. Yeah. It says now.
I dare you to look down the barrel of a freaking what was that? A Honda Pilot or whatever the hell it was. and then try not to freaking defend yourself.
And come to find out, this lady or man or whoever, whatever she was, or
They,
he
them.
was,
I think
They, them.
them.
Her name was Renee.
I think
Nicole Good.
she was from California,
I thought Colorado.
or where was she?
She
I'll look it
crossed
up.
It may have been
states.
Colorado, and so what is she doing in Minnesota? She's leading this organized protest. From what I understand, she was the kind of the coordinator of it. So it's like I'm saying,
She's
what job
experiencing Minnesota.
What job do you have that you can just simply take off from your job and I'm going over to?
No, she has the same job as Barack Obama had before he was president, a community activist. That was his only job before he became president, because he didn't do shit as a
It
representative.
says that Renee Good was originally from Colorado Springs. And once hosted a podcast with her husband at the time. Just a bunch of other stuff. Anyways, so Colorado Springs is where she's from. So.
Just talking about Nick Shirley here, he says he has received death threats and harassment, including phone calls to his family. After he released the video, he says Shirley described the threats during a December 31st appearance on the PBT podcast. And I watched that podcast; it was very good. And he'd said he was warned he would be kirked. A reference to the September assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
That's sad. But that's all. But I feel like there's so many people online that do it anyways. That's the kind of like the sad and scary part about the internet, is that you can just say something a little bit wrong on the internet and people will give you death threats. So that's the kind of the boy who cried wolf part of it. It's kind of scary, is you got moments like that where it's like, you just say something that's a bit controversial and you get death threats, and then you have moments like this where it's like, who actually knows?
He was the last person to be with Charlie Kirk. He was the last interview.
Nick Shirley?
Nick Shirley.
Get out.
Yes.
Wow. Uh-oh. That's scary. Especially with the threat like that. Mm-hmm. Getting assassinated like Kirk. That's... Yes. And may I say, I don't have any information about this, and we didn't plan on talking about this, but I've been looking into a lot of the stuff with Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, and there's something's fishy there as well. I don't know if you guys have been in touch with some of that stuff or been looking into it, but the more and more I kind of dig personally and start looking into some of that stuff, I'm like, something's not right there, and I don't know it, and I'm not gonna. It's all alleged. It's all. None of it's. I'm not saying anything, but just anybody out there who's interested or was interested in our Charlie Kirk episode or sympathized for that kind of for him. Just peel back the layers a little bit, and there's some suspicious stuff with his wife and very important figures and money and all that stuff as well.
It's always about money.
I know, and it's just scary that someone so close to you could. I don't know. I don't know. It's just scary. It makes me. I don't know. There's a lot of people I love in my life, and a lot of people that I feel like I know well.
But everybody has a past.
Everyone, you're right, and everyone has a price. I think is another thing.
I don't have a price, but I have a past.
I know you're right, but what I'm saying is that in this scenario specifically, somebody had a price, and that's the scary part. Is that you can love someone very dearly, and they can. Again, this is all allegations. Nothing's factual, but again, it's just scary stuff that, who knows. For the
this is going to be. I will be very interested to see what are the resulted fallout of this and where this goes. Especially,
I have a feeling there'll be a second episode.
Yeah, I have a feeling that what they start uncovering in California,
Ohio,
Illinois, New York. I hate
Los
to say
Angeles,
it. I think all these states that. I hate to say it, these are Democrat stronghold states.
Well, Modami, he comes up saying the buses are going to be free. His first executive action was make the bus fare $3. He raised the price of the bus fares.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're supposed to be free.
Right.
Yeah, well, unfortunately,
have you heard?
I
think his cabinet also talked about the fact is everyone needs to get comfortable with not really owning property and it being a community based thing. And I was like, nah, dude.
Well, look, if you
what did he say? We're going to get rid of the rugged individualism.
Yes, embrace the collective.
Embrace the collective. Something. Not. There's a quote that's very specific.
I know exactly what I saw him say that, and it's
owning a home is white privilege, and we're going to go after the whites.
Yeah, they say anybody moving to the suburbs, that's being a white supremacist. It's just what the terms that are being used now and labels being placed on people. It's unbelievable. It really is. And I just don't know I don't know how we get out of this. I really don't.
The fourth turning.
People want free stuff, and I hate to say it, and I understand what's driving some of this, and unfortunately makes people embrace people that sound good, but ultimately they have fraud in their they're deceitful in what they really are, and I think Mondami's one of them.
The quote is, "We will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism."
Good old communism.
Yeah, no.
Because what is the antithesis to the collectivism? Is the rugged American male that conquered this country.
But you see, I'm glad you said that, because that's something that's pissing me off right now, and I'm saying it, pissing me off. Because they're saying, oh, we have all these immigrants that want to come here, and this country was founded on immigration. Okay, the first immigrants busted their butts.
Oh, yeah.
They changed a continent. They came and built a civilization. Yep. They didn't come over here with their hand out and gimme, free. Right. They came over here and worked.
Yep, made a difference.
They worked hard. It's not the same thing. Okay, if you want to come over here and work and bust your ass and follow the real American dream, the American dream is not to make $1.2 million on a Somali daycare center.
Right.
Okay, that is something else.
Yeah. Being taken from my tax dollars.
Right. If you want to come here and bust your butt and follow the American
and
dream,
actually create something.
Something.
Yes. What value do you bring?
But Russia can do that. If you go to Russia, you have to prove that you can be a benefit to the Russian people.
Right.
Not just the Russian government, but the Russian people.
The embarrassing thing is whenever I went to go live in Canada for a while, I had to do that. As an American citizen, I had to go to Canada and prove that I had some value and I wasn't going to just take from their systems with, money and documentation and of course, having a job and things like that. So it's even going to Canada, which is like,
Well, Miranda's from Canada.
I know.
And it cost her almost $50,000 in 11 years to become a real citizen.
Yeah.
And on her thing, it says, you must carry this visa with you at all times. If you were caught without this visa, you will be deported and can't come back for 10 years. A minimum of some horse
crazy
shit like that. Yeah, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But then we have these situations like this where we can just give everything.
Ship 80,000 of them over here and give them everything for free.
Yep. That's it. Because we have got politicians that have so lost their way that they would do things that their ancestors before them would have never thought of even
But see,
doing.
other countries don't play.
Right.
Okay. Rosie O'Donnell gave up her American citizenship, moved to Ireland because she was Irish. Well, after doing some documentation and fact-finding, they found out she's not Irish. So now she has no country because she can't come back here because she gave up her citizenship.
Interesting.
She's a joke.
Fuck around, find out.
She's a joke. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That there's this level of delusion that seemed to have come out when Trump came on the political scene. It's people lost their minds over this stuff, and it's like,
well, I think a lot of that was the media. A lot, painting him as this bad guy, painting him as this big, he was
the universal threat.
Yeah.
He's the Nazi coming in, and
It's
somehow
all
he's
of
going to
us.
round you all up and put you in concentration camps. It's like this crazy talk.
Yeah. It's all of us versus him and his
somebody
policies.
asked me the other day, how do you feel about having a racist for president? I says, I don't like it at all. That's why we replaced him with Trump.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I mean, hello. That's why we got Trump in office.
You're right.
I've had those conversations with people. So what exactly, we making a claim of, where do you base that off of?
Right.
And most of the people, they can't really.
No, it's
It-
all
it's
just
just-
something.
Okay,
that's been-
What-
Donald Trump in the early days, long time ago, and I'm not going to say how I know this or how I witnessed it, but Donald Trump bought a golf club course, etc., to allow Jews and blacks to be able to play golf. Because all the big clubs in America,
Prevented
you couldn't
it.
be in black or Jewish and play golf. Okay,
Yeah.
he bought, and how many awards did he win from the NAACP
I don't know.
for helping the black community out? Pictures with all these leaders.
Yeah.
No, I'm
And
telling
now
you.
all of a sudden he runs against Hillary and he's the racist.
Yeah, it's. I'm telling you, he is upending the established order.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
That is what his threat
And I
is.
mean
It
maybe
can't be bought.
I think
Sorry
there's
to
I think
interrupt.
no, that's okay. I think there's a lot of things that are probably being hidden as well, but I do think that it's strategic that like the first big move of the new year, we're talking about we're approaching like the second I think he's working on his second year in office right now, right?
Right.
So of this term, I mean.
right. He
I think
started-
that's strategic to like starting off the new year strong. Again, we'll talk about more of this in next week's episode, but I think that that's a strategic thing as well of being like, okay, first things first, we're going to go ahead and take care of that. And then we're going to,
Oh, he's moving.
this is all a
But
plan.
think about what you just said. We did an episode a while back. 2025.
Mm-hmm.
26.
Yep.
What's the next year after that?
27.
And that's the year that all the shit's going to hit the fan,
Supposedly.
according to
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of the
yeah. Right.
predictions and everything
Yeah.
else. That's going to be his last year in office.
Mhm.
What's somebody going to try?
Who knows? But I think that it's probably going to come. It's probably going to happen because again, I don't think Trump's going to stop. I
But
think
see,
it's going to.
that's it right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
He's not going to stop.
Mhm.
So in that last year,
Oh yeah,
what they going to try?
you gotta swing for the bleachers in that last run. But anyway, so with all that being said, we're really curious to hear what all of you at home think, because obviously, again, as we've teased numerous times in this episode, we're going to be talking about Venezuela and the capturing of the president in next week's
Actually,
episode.
he wasn't the real president.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
But we'll get into that
We'll
further
get-
detail.
yeah, all this and more. Tune in next week. But anyways, we're curious to hear what you think about what we talked about today. And of course, if you're excited to hear about next week, or if you have any opinions you want to go ahead and, forecast for next week or, whatever, we have comment sections on Spotify and on YouTube where you can, send those kind of short form responses, and the email address, getinfinitetogether@gmail.com, where you can send more long form responses and all that good stuff. Be sure to like and subscribe on all the platforms that you do. It's really appreciated.
It helps us out.
Exactly.
It helps us out.
Share us with someone you feel like would enjoy this, or would
hate this.
or would get offended by this. And until next week, thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.
Goodbye, everyone, and God bless.
Every generation faces a moment where the question isn't what's legal, it's what's true. Fraud doesn't survive because it's clever. It survives because too many people decide it's not their problem. Faith tells us something different. It tells us truth matters even when it's inconvenient. It tells us stewardship isn't optional. It tells us silence is never neutral. We didn't come here to declare verdicts. We came here to follow the trail honestly, and if the truth holds, it won't need spin to stand. Stay curious, stay grounded, and don't let anyone tell you that asking real questions is somehow wrong. You guys are our friends here at the Retrospect podcast, and I appreciate all of y'all. And I just wanted to say something going into this new year. The downside of being my friend is that I will say shit with no filter at any given time. However, the upside of being my friend is that sometimes that shit is funny. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. You're the best. Peace.